Welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome to our breakdown of the Australian Grand Prix. The lights are out, the season is go, and Melbourne delivered a race weekend packed with drama. Today, we're diving into the top 5 winners and 5 losers from the race. Who rose above the chaos to seize the day? Who faltered under the pressure of Albert Park? Let's find out. Charles Leclerc, the Monegasque maestro, was simply untouchable this weekend. From the moment he took pole, you could feel the fire in his eyes. He was here to win, and win he did, controlling the race from the front, managing the gap, managing the tyres, and ultimately managing to keep his cool under immense pressure. A truly masterful drive. George Russell delivered another stellar performance in Melbourne. He might not have had the pace to challenge Leclerc, but his racecraft was absolutely top draw, picking his moments to attack, defending with precision, and bringing that Mercedes home for a well-deserved podium. The signs are all pointing towards a bright future for Mr. Saturday. It wasn't the vintage Lewis Hamilton performance we've come to expect in Australia, but the 7-time world champion showed he's not lost any of his fighting spirit. He might not have had the pace to match the Ferraris and Russell, but he kept his head down, delivered consistent lap times, and brought home some valuable points for the team. Chapter 4, Ocon delivers for Alpine. Esteban Ocon continues to impress for Alpine, putting in another solid performance in Melbourne. He may have flown under the radar for some, but his consistency and racecraft were crucial in securing valuable points. He might not grab the headlines like some of his fellow drivers, but Ocon is quietly building a reputation as a true team player and a force to be reckoned with. Chapter 5. Albon's Strategy Masterclass. Now, this is what we call a driver making the most of his machinery. Alex Albon might not have the fastest car on the grid, but boy, can he drive. His strategic prowess was on full display in Melbourne, perfectly timing his overcuts and managing his tyres to secure a stunning top 5 finish. This was a drive reminiscent of his early days at Red Bull, and he'll be hoping to carry this momentum forward. Chapter 6. Sainz's Sunday Stumbles. Oh, Carlos, what happened? After a promising start to the season, Sainz had a weekend to forget in Melbourne. He never looked comfortable in the car, struggling to find his rhythm and ultimately ending up well outside the points. These things happen in racing, but Carlos will be hoping to bounce back quickly and prove that this was just a blip on the radar. Chapter 7. A rare sight for sore eyes, seeing Max Verstappen out of contention so early in the race. Lady Luck was not on his side in Melbourne, with mechanical gremlins rearing their ugly head and forcing the reigning champion to retire early. A frustrating day at the office for Max, but we all know he'll be back with a vengeance in the next race. Fernando Alonso's much-anticipated return to the podium in Melbourne was not meant to be. The Spaniard, despite showing flashes of brilliance throughout the weekend, found himself caught up in incidents and struggling with a car that just didn't seem to have the pace. It's clear that Fernando hasn't lost any of his speed or racecraft, but he'll be hoping for a bit more luck in the races to come. It was a tough return to Formula One for Sebastian Vettel. The 4-time world champion's weekend was plagued with problems from the get-go, culminating in a race-ending crash that left him visibly frustrated. It's clear he's still got the hunger, but he'll be hoping for a smoother weekend next time out to show everyone what he's truly capable of. Oh, Nicholas, it just wasn't meant to be, was it? The Canadian driver had a weekend to forget in Melbourne, struggling for pace and ultimately ending up at the back of the grid. We've all been there, Nicholas, but chin up. There's always the next race. That's our take on the winners and losers from the Australian Grand Prix. It was a race full of twists and turns, breathtaking overtakes, and heartbreaking retirements. The Australian Grand Prix always delivers, and this year was no exception. The Formula One season is well and truly underway, and we can't wait to see what unfolds in the races to come. Stay tuned for more Formula One insights and analysis.